Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing Dungeon Universalis. Now we start the new mission, the Spider's Nest. We have the setup is a little tricky already. We have a limited obstacles deck, which basically uses mostly the outside obstacles like the rock slide, or I don't know, we have pits too, but yeah, darkness, stuff like that. We have also reduced enemies deck. We don't have special creatures. And it's a bit weird anyway, because all the creatures from encounter card are supposed to be a single great spider, if I read the rules right. I mean, I find that whole I find it all a little odd. The whole mission has a couple of rules which are a little bit vague in my opinion. Maybe that's just my problem with the language or what. So it says that the dark player may only be able to place one creature of the kind large spider, which I assume means great spider, when an encounter card is activated. The reason why I think that is the case is I think there are simply no large spiders. We can't see, but I'm pretty sure. Are there large spiders? There are giant spiders. And I think there are no large spiders in the game here. Let me check that. So yeah, these are the two spider types we have. The great spider, the giant spider. Pretty sure the giant spider will be our the boss. And therefore I assume the large spiders are simply the great spiders, and he will be able to place one creature of the kind large spider when an encounter card is activated. There will be no other creatures except the leader. Okay. So all indoor sections are in darkness, and yeah, the thing is now the setup said that the special creature cards should have moved out of the game. I'm not so sure why that is the case actually, because basically whenever you draw an encounter card, you're supposed to play a great spider. So I think it doesn't really matter if it's a special creature or a wandering creature or whatever. Yeah, I find that a little weird. Apart from that, it's not totally clear if it is written here that wait a minute. The thief is removed from the deck, so we don't have the thief in there, but it's not said that the ambush or the reinforcements are removed from the deck. So I left them in. So we got an ambush in there, 2 ambush cards and 2 reinforcements. And if I draw them, I'm also going to simply play a great spider, because I think these are supposed to be encounter cards, and therefore you play a single great spider. That's what I'm going to do. I also was a bit confused by the first map tile, like here. It took me a while to figure out that it's basically this tile, although this is obviously just half the tile. But the tiles are also numbered, and it indicated that this tile will be needed in the adventure, and there is simply no other tile that could be possibly meant here. So I guess we're gonna start basically in the middle of the tile, and these two, there should be two arrows here. I'm just gonna place, I think from now on, I'm just gonna place a single arrow kind of in the center here. Yeah, it's less fiddly. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We have, I recalculated that with the last time I think I had too many value points calculated for my group. The problem is I didn't really keep track of all the additional advancements that the different heroes had. So I didn't really check out how many cards, for example, how many skill cards they had at the start and how many they made during the adventure and so on. So I guess now that my group is at 60 development points. And however, I'm accompanied by this human mercenary, which is, his name was Rutf or Rutf, and he's a shooter with a longbow, a dagger, and a leather armor. And therefore I have 2 more points. So I'm at 62, but I had to spend 10, it's set, for the boss. So we are at 52 value points, if I'm correct here. We have achievement points going on. And I think this is pretty much it. So yeah, let's get started. And we go into the first turn. So we need a marker for the achievement point track of the dark player. Gosh, this is a mess here. Oh boy. Holy crap. There we go. Okay, and first turn. Great. So okay, let's see. I guess I'm gonna move. Now the thing in general is I expect this mission to be, might be wrong, but I expect it to be pretty easy. We already played the mission with a giant where you also had to face spiders, but in this mission you actually had to roll on the Fantastic Insects table, and I remember that we actually faced once or twice just a couple of the great spiders. You know, I think once we had 3 great spiders. In addition, we had then after a while reinforcements. So there were more than 3 great spiders at the game, in the game at the same time. And here, whenever you draw an encounter card, we'll only have to face a single great spider. So I don't expect too much tension of this special situation, to be honest. But I might be wrong. But I think we should be able to deal with that. Hope it's not getting boring, or maybe it is. I don't know. Okay, so let's move ahead. I think I'm going to start with these guys here. 1, 2, 3. You know, actually, I think I'm going to start with him. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to move here, and we're going to reveal this arrow here. So let's see if there's going to be an obstacle first. Nope. So let's go for the next tile. Oh, actually, I think an obstacle would not have been possible here because I'm not sure. They're always the same thing. I mean, we are in the first room. I think obstacles can be played in the first room, just no encounter cards. Okay, so let's go here. There we go. What? Oh boy, what is that? This is getting weird. Okay, that is already pretty odd because there are no tiles of this size. I have no clue how to handle that. Wait a minute, this... I think this... I see. I think it starts off like this. Yeah, this is actually... That is actually the way it works. Okay, I got that wrong. Okay, so here we go. We are starting all here, and basically this part of the tile was covered. And I'm standing now here, and I'm opening this up. So you can imagine that, yeah, this is actually covered, and you unlock the new section. And actually, I should have moved with this guy. Let's do it. So let's go here, just like this. Like this. Okay. So, okay, whatever. I'm going to move this guy actually here to get, or maybe here first. Then I'm going to move with him. And now we got to do the roll for the encounter here. And I already cheated here with the wolf, but yeah, I guess that's fine. So let's see. Okay, we do have an encounter immediately. So what does that mean? I guess it means we have to draw an encounter card. And basically now we can ignore what's written here. That's what I think. And instead, we simply play a great spider there. That's all that happens. So that means we have a spider now, right here, 3 spaces away from the person who revealed the new section. It's a little odd, this whole thing, that this is basically split in half and counts as 2 sections, but I guess that's how it's supposed to be. And the next section then basically starts back here. Okay, and yeah, we got to face an initiative roll. And these guys, what do they? Do they have a specific poisonous? Yeah, I don't think they have anything that will actually affect initiative. So we're in a pretty good shape here. Let's see. Oh, look at that. They got a 10. I got an 8. I think I might be able to win this anyway. So I got the sharp senses, which gives me a +1. I got the warhound, which also gives me a +1. So I'm at 10 too. However, I'm not sure, but I think the tiebreaker is intelligence. And there I should be better, but I gotta check that. Yeah, this is actually correct. The tiebreaker is intelligence, and because this thing has intelligence of 0, that means I win, and yeah, we can immediately attack. So I'm going to use my bow. So, but we got to go into another round now. This is the next combat round, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the thing is, for this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I think, if I'm not mistaken, that you get a bonus when you get more experience point at the end of this game when you kill the spiders, or the character who killed the most spiders, or something like that, gets an additional experience point. So I think I want to push this guy a little bit. He's a little bit behind in experience points. He's not that great. So maybe I'm going to give him the first chance to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now he can attack. He goes into berserker mode, I guess. And that allows him then, yeah, to go ahead here. And that is questionable. Let's see. He's got a -1 for the Berserker mode. He's got a 5. That brings it down to a 4. And yeah, so that means it's a tie. Okay, and then the guy with the higher agility wins. The spider has a 3, he's got a 2, so that means the spider has won that first attack roll. So let's do the second one. Oh boy, and that is a 7 against a 7, so that means this time I win by 1. Because, yeah, I got 1. Okay, cool. So that means I can now use my bastard sword, and I got a strength of 4, so I'm gonna do 6 damage. The spider has an armor of 4. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we only did 2 damage, which means the spider has still 2 life points left. So then I think I'm gonna try, the scout tries to finish the spider off. I can shoot twice, the fast shooting. Gotta be a little bit careful because this guy is standing next to me. So I hope I don't mess this up, but yeah, I should be fine. So let's hope for the best here. That's an 8, that's definitely a hit. So we do 4 damage dice. Damn, that's just 1. Okay, so that means the spider is wounded now. And we got another shot. That is a hit again. Yep. Got a shooting of 5. So that means we can again. Yeah. And this time we're good. So yeah. Awesome. We managed to kill the first enemy. That gives us an achievement point. And now I can still move, so I guess I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to move here, and then I'm going to take all the others with me, so it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we're going to do it like this, and I got to run with the others. Okay, so we're done here. Now that means we're going to the next turn. And that, yeah, I can already see that this is, oh boy, that's going to be hard there, but okay. So she's going to activate, yeah, she's going to try to activate the next section. So she's going to roll first for an obstacle, and there is one. So therefore we got to draw a card, and it's a rock slide. Okay, it affects the square occupied by the character who activated the trap. A number of rocks fall from the ceiling on top of the character, dealing a number of damage dice equal to 8 minus the character's agility. Okay, let's hope that we can avoid that. I got the sharp senses from the dog. The eagle eye also helps me to detect traps. So basically, because the base number is 9, I think with a 6 I should be fine. And I have one. Very, very good. So let's see. That means First of all, this guy, no. Okay, I forgot about that. He paid already 4 points. 2 for the spider, 2 for this thing. He was at 52, so that means now he's at 48. Okay, and now I think for detecting a trap, yeah, I would get an achievement point. Very good. So there you go. And now we can reveal the next section. Here, this is the next area. And what is kind of odd is this thing, oh god. So this thing here, this element is this one here, which is kind of a door. It comes with 2 sides, one open and one closed. I guess, yeah, that's the closed one, I guess. Now this seems to be the open one. On the other hand, I'm not sure why there should be this element here at all. It's not clear if it's an open door or a closed door. Now I assume it's closed. I don't really know, but I mean, thematically it doesn't make that much sense. I think spiders cannot open and close doors, so therefore it is a little bit weird. But on the other hand, I think they have this element there for a reason, and I think that reason is not only to kind of have some thematic thing going on, but also to yeah, to give you some obstacle here. I think so. I'm not sure, but I guess that's I think that's what they want. Okay, so we want to enter here, and first we got to check if there are any creatures here. And that is indeed the case, so we can draw the next card. And again, I guess we simply ignore the card itself and instead play another one of these spiders, which is then again placed 3 spaces away. Yeah, you know, I mean, seriously, this is... that feels a little... The scenario doesn't feel that super interesting, but maybe that changes, but I don't know. Okay, let's see now. We have, again, I got to check for initiative, and the dog is still within range, so let's see what we got. We easily win that. I think I want to this time give the dwarf a chance to do a kill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I might actually... 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, actually maybe... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm gonna give it another shot with the gladiator. Oh, you know what? Actually, I forgot about the safety zone rule. But I think I could have easily done it in a way that I could have covered the whole tile with safety zones. Yeah, but because in the last adventure it didn't apply, I kind of forgot about that. So gotta try to remember that from now on, but I guess we're fine now. Okay, so the guy attacks the spider, and let's see. This time it's a hit. So actually I also went in berserk mode, but this is clearly a hit. And then I can roll a couple of dice, and we have 6 dice that we're allowed to roll now. That looks pretty good. We do already 3 damage. So the spider is wounded, which means she has to subtract 1 from the values like combat strength and stuff like that. And because I'm in Berserker mode, I can do a second attack. I'm not even sure. I think last time I missed one. So let's see. Okay, this time, I don't know. I think the spider won that again. So it has only a combat value of 2 now, though. That means it's a 2 plus 9. That's an 11. I got a combat value of 5. Minus 1 for the Berserker is 4. Plus 7, that's also an 11. Now I think the next one that would be the tiebreaker is the agility. Now it has a minus 1 because it's wounded, that's a 2, but I also have a 2, so that means it's also a tie, and that's not quite true because I have the studded armor which subtracts 1 more, so therefore I lose again. Might consider doing the second blow with him if I want to give him experience points. Okay, now it's I want to try to do the kill with the dwarf now. So we move now 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces right there. And by the way, I think we should be here at that moment because a combat round started. So I'm moving there. And then I'm going to do an attack, and I'm going to use do I use the fast attacks? Yeah, I think I'm going to use the fast attacks, which allows me to... I'm not sure if I want to do that actually. Yeah, why not? Okay, that's very good. So that is clearly a hit. I got a critical even, so I got my strength plus 3, which means I do 7 die of damage, so probably don't even have to roll for that, but of course we will. Okay, there we go, the spider is dead, and I get another point here. You know what, actually I forgot to search, so I think I'm going to use her. I forgot to search last time already. But anyway, I'm going to use her to search. So we're going to roll a die and we don't find anything. And then we can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. But this time we're going to be more careful. We only want to go here because we don't want to trigger a trap. And next we can move with this guy. He also has 5 movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's run. Yeah. So we can move basically here, I guess. Then it's the wolf. And we can move him here. And then I guess we can take the scout again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. That's a little tricky. Are we adjacent to this element or not? Well, I guess we are. I mean, it's indicated like this. So it seems like this is... I think we can interact with this thing. So I'm gonna open there. Yep. I'm immediately gonna try to open this door, and we'll see if we have an obstacle. And we do. So let's see what we have. That's an ambush. Okay, so what does that mean? I guess it means, because it's an encounter card, that we have simply another spider coming up. And this time, I think it will come up from this section here. Now this is important. So It probably does not start here at the end, but somewhere here. I gotta check exactly how to place the ambush creatures. Okay, so I just realized by reading the rules I forgot one slight detail. These are always single creatures, so single creatures are always placed in the center of the room. And so I probably should not have placed it, for example, here, but instead I think here, which would not have made a big difference, but I just want to keep that in mind. Now, because this is an ambush, the creature will come from an already explored section, which is this one here, and it will be placed in the same way as if I had just explored it from here, basically. So that means it's going to be placed again in the center of the room, and then it says furthest away, if it's not so clear. I don't know, I'm going to place it here, I guess. These are the two center tiles, and this seems a little, okay. So we're going to place it there. And now it's a little tricky because we don't get a real bonus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could either take the wizard. Yeah, that's the thing. I think basically I can take either the wizard or the gladiator to do the initiative roll, because it has to be the one that is closest to the new revealed enemy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think, even this is an obstacle, I think it is possible to move from here to here, from what I understand. Let me check that. Okay, actually I was wrong here. You cannot move like this. So instead, that means this guy is the closest, and therefore he's got to do the initiative check. That is not that great, I think. He has no bonus at all, so we simply have to roll. But I made it. Got an 8. The spider only has a 7, so yeah. Managed to win the initiative. And that's another thing. Is the ambush kind of special? Maybe the ambush is a little bit different here. Gosh, there's so much stuff to consider. Let's see, here it says, initiative in the usual way, even if the creatures and characters do not have visual contact, the caught by surprise rule will not apply. Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, I might have had the caught by surprise bonus earlier on, which would have then allowed me, for example, to turn the creature around, because I think, I'm pretty sure that my result would have been higher than the creature's intelligence, which is 0. And as long as a 1 would be not okay for that, but if it's 2 or more, when the creature's intelligence is 0, if both of your dice show 2 or more, you get the caught by surprise rule, which allows you to kind of turn the creature in a way as you like it, and then you can do an attack from behind, which then will give you a +1 modifier. But that, all these little details, I'm pretty sure they're not that interesting in this specific situations that we had here. Anyway, so in this case, the caught by surprise rule is not applied, but we have a new combat round, so this goes up again. And now this guy can move back 2 spaces, 3 spaces, and he can simply attack. It goes again into berserker mode, and let's hope for the best. Oh boy, that wasn't great. That was pretty bad. So let's do the next one. Okay, that was good. That's a hit. And let's see if I remember that right. Talking 6 dice here. Okay, these are 3 hits. So that means again we need help. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we need help from the dwarf. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I think I gotta take that. The dwarf is so slow, he's really got to run back then and all that. But okay, I think we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the dwarf will try to finish the spider off, and he's going to use again his... You know, actually I'm not going to use the... No, should I? Yeah, I'm going to use these fast attacks here. Oops. Okay, that is pretty bad. This is definitely not a success. So that kind of sucks because I couldn't kill the spider. Okay. So what am I going to do now? Not a lot. These guys kind of block line of sight from them, so there is nothing I can do. I think we simply have to accept the counter attack of the spider. So let's see if it gets some kind of boost card here. That is not the case. So the spider will attack. Let's see who that's going to be. The enemy with the lowest armor. So I got a +2. So it's going to be this guy here. Oh boy, that isn't good. That sucks, man. No, we cannot accept that. 2 critical hits, we don't want that at all. So I guess we have to spend a fortune here. So let's see what it rolls now. I mean, I'm not doing well anyway, but I think 2 critical hits is something I don't want. Oh yeah, that is much better. So that means no success for the spider. Okay, and that means now we go into the next turn. And we do another attack with the gladiator here. Shit. But we're in berserker mode, so therefore we can reroll. Incredible. So yeah, the dwarf has to try. Yeah. Okay, now that looks pretty good. The dwarf has a 10. However, 1 is subtracted because of this fast attacks thing. After rolling the 3 dice, it must choose the 2 most favorable results for him and add a penalty of -1. Okay, so that means I got a 9, but I got a 5, a combat value of 5. The spider only has a combat value of 3, -1 because it's wounded. So therefore, you know what? We should have rolled here if it even will attack because it's wounded. But, damn it. Yeah, we don't. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, it's before the spider's attack. We should have rolled for courage because if an animal is wounded, you got to roll for courage, and then if it doesn't pass the test, it will actually flee. So we should have done that. But okay, something else I'm missing. You know, it's really easy to miss the details in this one. But I think that's okay. I think it doesn't break the game. It just, the details, I think they are actually not that important. They add to the theme, and if you remember them, it's cool. And you play with them and it's fine. But if you forget to apply 1 or 2 of them, it's not a big deal because the overall gameplay is not really affected by it, as long as it's not a big thing. If it's just a small detail like that special rule, it doesn't really matter that much. So I don't care that much. If I remember everything, it's great, and I get that really cool thematic experience, like, okay, it might be afraid and run away and stuff like that. But if I forget it, yeah, okay, so then I forget it. Okay, anyway, I did a hit with the dwarf, and that means I've got pretty good odds now to kill the spider. I got 7 dice, and that's it. So the spider is dead. Dwarf has another kill. We get another achievement point, and this character will search for treasure. That's a 3, that's nothing. And then I'm basically just going to move here, I guess. And I will open the door. And I can do that now without any problems, because we already had the obstacle card. And that was the ambush. So now we simply reveal the new section. Okay, so now it's an indoor corridor, and you know, honestly, I'm not sure if I would be actually allowed to do that. I think I should have been placed here. So I'm gonna move here and yeah, call it an action. I think I should have actually placed here. It makes more sense to me. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, and she's not allowed to move or do anything anymore this turn. So indoor here is darkness. So that means she is lost in the dark, and also is this guy, I guess, because he's a human. Yeah, he is. So that means we got penalties here. -1 to all attributes, except armor, life points, and mana. Yeah, that means basically that it's going to be a little harder for her to successfully cast spells now. If this card is activated while opening a door or revealing a section from an exploration arrow, darkness will only affect the newly revealed section, cannot affect the main room. Okay, great. And the dark players' creatures are not affected by it anyway. It doesn't really matter. It's only the humans who have that trouble. All the others have some better sight, so we don't have to care about it that much. Again, one of these tiny little details which just adds theme to the game, but you have to remember it. And it's easy to forget, I guess, but it won't break the game if you forget it. Okay, now we got to check if there's going to be an encounter here. And again, there is lots of creatures here. So yeah, we have the next card, and that means we have, oops, we got the next spider here. It's placed here because it's a corridor. It's placed at the very end. And that means we have a new turn now, because the new combat turn starts. And yeah, I think I simply want to use the cat and shoot the spider here. So let's see if we can do that. Yeah, shouldn't be too hard. Okay, that's a hit. I do, of course, the fast shooting, which gives me 2 shots, 2 hits, and then let's try the second one. Oops. Ah, that sucks. That's not good enough. By the way, I think this should go up one more space because I used a fortune point with this guy, and whenever you use a fortune point, the achievement points for the dark players go up by 1. But you know, anyway, I think that's not a problem. I'm simply going to move with the wizard. 1, 2. Do I have line of sight? That's a little bit questionable. I think... Is this... It's hard to tell. If I place it like this, I think I might have line of sight. Maybe she's blocking. It's hard to tell. I don't think it is blocking. I think I have line of sight. It doesn't really matter that much. I mean, I could get a little closer. I'm gonna use my green flame, or do I want to use the brain damage? The brain damage is more effective, but it only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The green flame has a range of 12. I think in the end, yeah, I'm going to use the green flame here. So, yeah, I need a... Well, I'm not inside, though. This is now one of these details. I get a -1 to shooting if I'm in the dark section. If the enemy is in the dark section, even if the shooters are in a well-illuminated area themselves. But it doesn't say you get a -1 to casting spells, so I think that's okay. And therefore, right now, I need a 5 to be successful. I have that. And that gives me 5 damage dice. And easy kill for the wizard. And we make another advancement point here. Okay, so we're all lined up here, ready to reveal the next section. And honestly, I think I'm gonna continue for a while now off camera. This is just not that interesting, you know, as long as you basically just have to fight a single spider. That's not a big deal. So I think, okay, let's see. Let's move the scout. Let's reveal the next section. See what happens if we have an obstacle, for example, and we don't. So okay, I guess, yeah, I'm gonna reveal the next section and then maybe fight the spider if one shows up, and then continue. And I'll be back if something of interest happens. So I just wanted to show you that we entered this room here, and there was a spider web here going through the room, and whenever someone was moving on that web, there was a chance of basically 1 in 6 that a spider would show up. And we were kind of lucky. We only had 2 spiders, and it took us 2 rounds to get through the room, and in each round we had a single spider, so it wasn't that terrible, and we made $2 out of that. Now, in addition to that, I don't know, I'm still thinking about that ending. I had some thoughts about that today, and the thing is, the boss fight, it feels so terribly hard in general. I mean, the thing is, if you enter a room with a boss inside, and let's say there are, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 other creatures, and that is possible. I think in theory, I'm not positive about that, but in theory it is possible that there is an enemy spotted card, which, let's say with the bandits, it brings kind of like 5 or 6 creatures. And then you have to place the same number again. I'm not sure about that, but the thing is, what you do is, in general, you place an enemy spotted, yeah, let's say we roll, I don't know, a 5 or something, add something, so you end up with 5 creatures in there, and that is something like this would be always the case. Then you have the boss, and then if you roll the die, and if things go really bad, you might end up with about 10 creatures plus the boss in that room. And the thing is now, if you then lose initiative, it's basically over. And it's just about that one roll. It's just about the initiative roll. So I'm thinking about a house rule to kind of change that. I don't know, maybe something, if there are more than, I don't know, 5 creatures in the room or something, you have always initiative. Something like that. Or if you get a, I don't know, you get a modifier of +1 for every 5 value points that the enemy has. I'm not sure how to fix that issue, but you understand what I mean. I mean, the thing is simply that beyond a certain point, there are situations in this game, especially during the boss fight, when there might be just tons of creatures in there, and then if you lose initiative, you're done, and it's one single roll. Of course, you have the option to re-roll sometimes, but for example, if I roll a 4 and the enemy rolls a 10, you know, it's hard. It really is. I mean, of course, I could re-roll and maybe I'm super lucky, but it's not like, okay, you spend a fortune and then you pretty much have it. That would be another option. You could say, okay, if there is, during the boss fight, for example, if you don't win initiative, you can spend 2 fortune and then you do have initiative. Always. Something like that. I don't know. I think there should be some mechanism to mitigate that initiative roll. Maybe not necessarily during the whole adventure, but at the end, when there is that last battle, you know, I mean, if you are standing at the door, you open the door, maybe with a scout, and yeah, you open that door and you fuck up the initiative roll, then you have to face maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 attacks from shooters or something like that, or 4, and then comes another melee attack, and if you're lucky, he pushes you inside, and then maybe other people will move in and attack your other guys. But, I mean, you probably will not survive these first wave of attacks. So, I don't know, I just don't think that's really fair, and yeah, it's just that one roll. So, enough complaints about that. I have to find some solution for that. I think, yeah, that should be solved in some other way. Okay, anyway, we go into the next turn, I guess. Yep, and then I'm gonna continue this adventure here. Let me see if I can do that. First I gotta bring her. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to run with her, I guess. Okay. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I can bring her here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. So I can move here and then can try to open the door. And let's see if we draw an obstacle. And we don't. So yeah, let's review the new section. Okay, so this is the new tile. 2 exits. And it's all supposed to be difficult terrain, rocky. So let's see if we find a creature in there, and we don't. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could try to move, but that's a risk. I think that's too big a risk. Oh no, I can't do it anyway, because you have to pay an extra movement point. 1, 2, 3. Oh boy, that takes a while to get through there. Yeah, you have to pay an extra movement point for every space in difficult terrain. So yeah, I guess we're gonna move this way and then try to continue there. Okay, so there was no obstacle, and we have now this long corridor here. Problem is, it says here vermin, this B here, that indicates that. Vermin bats. So this section is full of aggressive bats that occupy all the squares. A character inside the section will be able to eliminate them automatically by using a flask of Greek fire or a squeaky bird. They can also be eliminated with melee attacks or shots on any of the squares if an impact is achieved. It requires entering the section. Or with magic projectiles. In the latter case, the damage caused will be double. The bat swarm has combat skill 4, vitality 8, agility 5 and armor 2, and is considered small. Each character who steps on the section during his activation will suffer 1 damage die at the end of his activation until the vermin are wiped out. Okay, so I guess what we got to do is, or what I want to do is, it's probably the easiest thing to use the Greek fire. And problem is, I don't have an action anymore. Now as a quick action though, I think, yeah, but it's, yeah, I think I could do that. I think as a quick action I can give this item to an adjacent hero, but I gotta check if this is really a quick action. That's actually a quick action, so I can simply give the Greek fire to the dwarf, because then I don't lose this turn, because I'm kind of blocking everything otherwise. But in this case, these 4 guys could move. They can move through me, which, I mean, it's gonna be hard because this is rocky terrain, so it's gonna cost 3 points, 3 movement points to enter that square. But I think, yeah, the dwarf will be able to do it anyway. So I'm gonna give it to him, and then, oh, by the way, this is a special object, the vermin, so we get an achievement point for that. So then we move in here, 3 points, and another one, 4, oh boy. And yeah, then this is it. I cannot do anything else. I cannot move any further. That's what I wanted to say. And then I'm going to use the Greek fire to eliminate the vermin. It's a bit of a shame, but I think it's worth $4. But I think it makes sense to do that. Okay. So that means these guys are done. Yeah. And now we basically just have to move down there. That could take a little bit. I wonder what's here on the other end, but it will take me a lot of time to get there, so I'm not sure if I actually want to do that. Yeah, let's try to move down here. Made it through here. Now this is going to be again the new section here, and this is difficult terrain, rocky, and this time, because in the last, I guess in the last 3 rooms, I mean, you cannot draw an encounter card here, so I'm not sure if this section actually counts against that. But definitely in the last 2 rooms, in this one and in the one before, we haven't had any creatures, so we're gonna have to... that's actually the spider web, but you can see that here you're also not allowed to... This were the vermin bats. There could not be any creatures spawned there. So now we have to roll twice if the first one is not an encounter. Okay. And there we go. Another encounter, which means, well, we just flip the card basically. And we draw another spider, and this one goes down. 2 more spaces here. Yeah, and, well, I mean... Now it's a corridor, and I wonder if... I gotta check that. It's a single creature, but I still think that... I think if it's a single creature... Usually a single creature would be placed in the middle of the room, but I think because it's a corridor, it is still placed at the very end. Gotta check that. Yeah, that's again one of these little details. I think corridors are no rooms, and therefore the thing is placed here at the end. But actually I think it's placed here because it's opposite to the player who discovered or who revealed the new section. Okay, so let's see, we're gonna roll. And again, I got very strong. Okay, I could now actually, I could, for example, turn this thing around because it is caught by surprise, because I've won the initiative, and I'm with both. I'm with both dice above its intelligence. And if it's a double 6, there might be even another advantage, but I'm not sure about that. Well, no, there is actually no big advantage for this, but the thing looks into the other direction, which gives us a +1 modifier if we do an attack. So that is kind of cool. So we start the next combat turn, and yeah, I think because this is rocky terrain, I cannot reach that creature with any of my guys. So I kind of hope to shoot it and kill it that way simply. So I do the fast shooting again, and it's 2 spaces away. Sorry, what am I talking about? It's in medium distance because it's 6 spaces away, which is kind of the middle distance. So that means I got a -1 modifier for that, but a +1 because I shoot from the back. So let's see. Oh boy, that's good. That's a critical hit. So we can roll 5 damage dice. Oh boy, there we go. And it's dead. And that's another achievement point for me. So we're doing good. Now look at that. We managed to enter the final room. Took us a bit to get through there, but yeah, so the guy is basically nearly 10 spaces ahead of us here. I don't think that we can make up for this, but maybe. So this goes up 1 space, and now, I don't know, I think we get 2 spaces of... Oh, actually, I remember now, I forgot to give... I did 2 successful spells. I should get something for that. Now let's see. We have the main room, which is worth, I don't know. I think that's worth another... Yeah, here. That's another point. Okay, but still, I don't think we can do that. So let's see. The queen spider, the leader, is a giant spider. It has a swollen belly full of spider eggs and objects from other adventurers it has swallowed over the years. Heroes are considered to have opened a treasure chest as soon as they knock out this creature. Okay. So let's see. As in the adventure before, I'm going to use this miniature here as my giant spider. And it's placed back here. So, yeah. Problem is that it's not going to be that easy to enter, at least for these two creatures here, or for my heroes, to enter the battlefield, because they got to cross these spaces of heavy terrain. I'm not sure. She might be able to... I mean, she still can do it. She can also cast a spell from back here, I guess, if nobody's in line of sight. So that should be okay. It's an outdoor section, so there is no... there's no... Gosh, there's no darkness. However, there will be an automatic enemy spotted card, because it's the main room. It's a card, yeah, exactly. There's an automatic card that says enemy spotted. So we definitely have one more creature, and I guess it's sitting here. And then we got to roll and see if we have an additional encounter card. And we don't, so we were lucky here. And yeah, it has to pay for the creature. Now the thing is, because there's still kind of like 41 points left, which sounds pretty crazy, but I gotta kind of check that. I don't think this is quite correct. I started at 60. I had to spend 10 for the leader. I'm at... Now the spiders in the spider web, they didn't cost anything. But apart from that, if I'm not mistaken, I'm at 4 of these great spiders, which cost 8. So that means he was at 50, so he should be at 42. And then in addition to that, we had a rock slide. And I think that's actually it. So that's another 2. So he is at 40 now. And then we have this creature here, which brings him down to 38. And this is it. Now that could be a problem, because I think now, because there's so many of these points left, the life points and maybe also the skills of the giant spider might increase quite a bit. I gotta check that. Okay, so the first thing we do, I guess, as soon as the leader is spawned, it says 1d6 must be rolled for each hero in the game to determine if the leader has extra skills. Now for every, I think I already explained that, I just want to do it again. For every 1 I roll, the leader gets an extra skill worth 1 value point. For every 2 I roll, it gets an extra skill worth 2 value points. Now the thing is, this leader only has 1 extra skill worth 3 value points. So only if we roll a 3, that leader will get that extra skill. So let's hope we don't roll that. Okay, great. Yeah, that is awesome. So I think that is a clear verdict here. So we have to pay another 3 value points, 1, 2, 3, and that gives her the paralyzing poison, and that doesn't sound good at all. Okay, but that's not it. Now we reduce the value point counter to 10 value points. Okay, so we have here now 35 value points. And for every 2 value points above 10, the leader gets an extra life point. So that's really, really bad. So that means we are now at, 35. So 24, I guess. That means 12 extra life points for the leader. And he's now at 11, down to 11. And the leader gets 12 additional life points to the 20. So the giant spider has now 32 life points. I mean, that is massive. And I have no clue if I can even survive that. Let's see, we got, I think I'm gonna take these here as counters for the life points. Okay, there we go. So that is not good at all. And now for every 5 wounds lost, the agility will be reduced by 1. That's a little bit odd. That is weird. Okay. I mean, it makes sense if the guy only has 20 life points. But okay, I think that, I think it applies anyway. You basically cut off all the legs, target their legs to reduce their mobility. So you cut off all the legs, and then obviously it has a very low agility, which could be helpful. There's another bad extra rule here. All spiders in the main section got +1 for their initiative roll for each hero. So basically these guys will get an additional activation, and that brings us now exactly to the point where we say this could be very bad news, because we'll probably take 3 attacks from this guy right at the start. I don't know if the party will be there in a good shape. So let's see. First, we're gonna do the initiative here, and so it is this spider here. Let's see. That's not good. Okay, there's no chance we can win that. I mean, it would have been good enough if not for this bonus here. So they have the initiative, and that means we are in quite a bit of trouble, I guess. So it's a little weird. It really is. This looks like a very, very, very strange position now. I guess so the leader is activated first. That is what the creature activation says. Clearly. Because this thing has no ranged attack, so the leader is activated first. So let's see. It has a range of... Now wait a minute. The leader has 3 actions, if I get that right. Yeah, 2 additional actions. So let's see. The spider has a movement value of 7. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that doesn't work because there is another spider here, so it's kind of sitting there. So it has to run. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. That is a weird situation, actually. So it cannot run here because then it would enter my combat range. So the spider cannot run from there directly to here. So I guess what it has to do instead is it has to move here, and then as a second activation it can now move here and attack. Yeah, I think that's the way it works. Okay, so now move, and it now attacks, and so we got to check which one is attacked. And because it's a leader, it has this target priority where we simply now, gosh, how does that work? Yeah, we simply roll 1d6 to determine it. Okay, that's 1. So it's a random adjacent enemy on a 1 to 3. It's the dwarf, so the dwarf is attacked. Okay. Let's see. This isn't great. The dwarf is on heavy, on difficult terrain. That means he's got a -1 modifier. That looks pretty good, actually. That looks not bad. But before we can do that, and I gotta check if because this thing is fearsome. Let's see what that means. Okay, I'm fine. My courage is definitely, well, I just made it. My courage is 4 and a 6, so I kind of passed the courage test. So yeah, I stand firm and I'm not afraid of this thing. So I'm okay, I guess. And yeah, I did the first attack was fine, and now we got a second attack. Now I'm a little bit confused here. Does the leader now have to attack a creature which is not yet attacked, or is it again a completely new random target? I gotta check that. Now, actually, the card says here, other rules ignores the equal distribution of attacks. So it might actually attack now the dwarf a second time, but we'll see. So that is a 4, which means enemy which is easiest to hit. And that is her. That's the cat. So let's see. Okay, that looks okay for me, but I wouldn't be too sure. So we got a, oh boy, I'm unarmed because I got my bow. That's pretty bad already. I think I'm fucked here. So I'm unarmed, which gives me a -1. I'm on difficult terrain, that gives me another -1. So that is already kind of a tie now. This thing has a 4 and I only have a 3. So it looks bad, I guess. I guess this is a hit. Yep, that's a hit. Yeah, guess there's nothing I can do about it. So we're going to take the damage now. Let's see. The thing does, oh my goodness, it does 6 damage dice. Oh, but before I actually have to roll my courage. Oh boy. Okay, so that gives me fearsome. That's I think. Let's see. So if you fail, gets the condition frightened. The activation ends if the fearsome enemy is large or huge. Heroes and their companions will be equivalent. Okay, let's see. I get the frightened condition. That's not good, I guess. Okay, so the frightened is the same as stunned, except that I still have the option to run. So I get a -1 on most of the things, on kind of like combat, shooting, and all that stuff. But it ends at the start of the next activation. But I've lost that attack anyway. But it would have been another -1 modifier because I was so shocked by the sight of this thing that, yeah, it would have been another -1. So, now we take the wounds, I'm afraid. And could kill me. And it did, I guess. That is definitely a dead. So yeah, I gotta spend 1 fortune to kind of and if I roll a 5 or 6, I'm gonna be okay. And I'm not. So I gotta spend a second fortune, and I simply survive now. But this is it. I can only do this once. I only have 1 fortune left, so another time and I'm dead. So the thing is, it's really a bad situation here. There's no doubt about that. This is it. This is the end of the turn of the activation of these guys. Now, I think I should make a run for it, to be honest. I think there's no chance for me to survive that. Especially in this position, right? If I had encircled the guy, it would be different, but I'm kind of stuck here. I mean, I could kind of try to disengage and kind of move around here and stuff. This only blocks these 2 spaces. So I could try to move around here and maybe attack from behind or something, but that all looks not very promising to me, to be honest. 35 points is a lot, or 34 life points or something. 32. I really don't know if it makes a lot of sense to even try. Okay, I just realized that actually I haven't activated this creature, and it will activate because it can move around. So it's not going to make it here to attack me, but it will try to run and then move around here, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it ends up here basically, which doesn't make it easy at all. Okay. Yeah, so now it's my activation and I got really no clue what to do. This is a pretty big disaster, I would say. There's no way for me out here. They're both blocked now, both sides. And okay, here's probably the only choice I still have. I mean, otherwise it seems completely ridiculous. If I try the heroic potion, try to kill this thing, and then try to disengage here and move out somehow. It's super hard to do, but it really feels there's nothing else I can do. So I'm going to give that a try. And so I'm going to attack this creature. I can't because I'm engaged with this creature. Ah, shit. So I cannot, yeah, that's really bad. I cannot disengage because, I mean, I can, but I cannot move away from this creature, right? That's horrible. Okay, I guess I don't know what to do here. I think there is no way out. Honestly, I think there is just no way out. We are completely trapped. The only option I see is if I move back with all these characters and try somehow to disengage from the creature, lure her in, and then fight her in here. So we're going to try to do that. I'm going to run with these different guys here, and it is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to move with him here. The spellcaster. I'm going to do the war dance with the spellcaster first. Or maybe I should actually simply also try to disengage. It's hard to tell. Okay, so at that point I'm going to have to load it up. I don't know if there is still a chance to win that. But I think the situation here was just too bad. Just being trapped with basically these two guys. The problem is he has to manage to go back somehow. I mean, he still has his dexterity potion, which will go on for 2 more turns. So maybe he'll find the chance and then he can move back somehow. And if we manage to kind of surround the creature here, you know, we might be able to use magic and shooting and all that stuff. Maybe in this way, there's a small chance that we actually can do it. But it's going to be super hard. Okay, anyway, hope to see you on the next video or lonesomegamer.com. Bye.